In the last video, we learned all about the destroy behavior. And what we're going to do in this video is learn about the spawn behavior, which is the exact opposite of destroy. Instead of destroying or deleting things from our stage, we're actually going to kind of give birth or create different actors. So just like with destroy, there's a few things that we actually have to set up before we can even demonstrate destroy. So just follow along, and there's some interesting things to learn as we create our scene setup. So I'm going to create two actors. So I'll click create an actor for our first actor, and I'm going to double click on that and name this first actor Bird. And with that actor selected down here in the attributes area with the actor tab selected, I'm going to change the color of my bird to something like yellow. So we have our yellow chicken actor. And the size of the actor I'm going to change from 120 down to something a little bit smaller, something like 60 by 60. And if I drag and drop Bird into my stage here, you can see we now have our yellow chicken actor inside our stage. So let's go ahead and give our chicken some movement. So again, I'll click on the bird actor here in the actors tab, and then I'm going to open up the backstage or the bird's brain. And then we want to go ahead and drag in a few behaviors. Now you notice that the way I've been adding behaviors so far has been always by clicking on this behaviors tab and then dragging behaviors in. Now as you become familiar with behaviors and you know their names, like so far we've been introduced to move, accelerate, rotate, change size, it might be easier for you to just go ahead and type those behaviors here in the box, which is a little bit faster. So I know I want the bird to move, so I'm going to click in this box here and just hit the letter M, and you can see all behaviors that start with M show up. So I'll just click move. Great. So I'm going to click in this little box again, and I also want my bird to rotate. So I'm going to click R, and then you can choose rotate from this list as well. So you see how quickly I added move and rotate behavior to my bird instead of having to click on the behaviors tab. So you can do it both ways. As you're learning, it's good to go into the behaviors tab because you don't even know what behaviors are available to you. But as you know exactly what behaviors you want, you can always use that box to just type it in. So I'm going to have my bird move forward, which we can see this dial is already set to do, which is in the right direction. And we have it rotating. So let's preview this and see what happens with our chicken. So you can see our chicken is moving around in big circles. So let's slow our chicken down a little bit. So instead of 300, let's just do 200 and then preview that. It's always good to preview as you make changes. Okay, so now we have our chicken running around in circles but staying inside the screen space. So what we want is we want our chicken to spawn eggs. But we don't have any egg actors here to give life to. So let's go ahead and create one. So I'll hit the plus icon here. And this next actor, we're going to make sure that we rename it egg. And we'll leave the egg actor white. But again, down here in the attributes with the actor tab selected, we'll just change the size. So I'm going to change the size to something like 20 by 30. And we don't actually need to drag the egg actor into our scene right now because again we're going to be using the spawn behavior, so we want the chicken to kind of give birth to those eggs. So let's go back to our bird actor, and what I want to do before I move on is show you how to kind of clean things up, because as we move along we're going to be adding more and more behaviors to our actors' brains, and this area down here can become quite cluttered. So you notice that there's an icon here that says group. I'm going to click that group icon. And it added this group area down here, which I'm just going to drag to the top. And I'm going to drag move into group. And I'm also going to drag rotate and drop it into group as well. Be careful when you're dragging and dropping rules and behaviors around because you can sometimes drag and drop them into the wrong one, as you might see in the future. But this is pretty easy. We created a group and we just added move and rotate. I can also click on this word right here where it says group, and I'm just going to call this group movement. So I know that when I click this arrow and fold this group down, this is my movement group. So see how neat everything is in here now? Great. So now that we have our movement all grouped up and we don't have to worry about that anymore, we can then go ahead and apply the spawn behavior. Now because you haven't seen this yet, you might not know the name, although I already told you. So let's just go back to the behaviors tab and let's scroll down to where it says spawn actor. So click, drag, and drop spawn actor into our chicken. So if we go ahead and preview this now, let's see what happens. We have our chicken, but it didn't spawn anything. Now why not? Well, we have to change an attribute here in our spawn actor. You notice this first pull down here? It gives us again a list of all the actors that we've created. Again, I can't reinforce enough, it's important that you name your actors for this exact reason. If this just says actor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're not going to know which one's which. But it's easy to know that we want to spawn our egg actor. Okay, let's preview this now. So let's see what happens. When we hit preview, we can see that our chicken laid one single egg. Pretty easy stuff. And that's because inside Gamesalad we're telling our chicken, spawn this egg. Now let's create something called a timer to make our chicken actually lay several eggs. So you notice up here to the right, there's this timer icon. Go ahead and deselect all of the rules and attributes and behaviors that you have here and just click Add Timer. So you can see now that we've added a new timer. And what I can do is drag this spawn behavior down into that timer. So let's read what our visual coding says here. It says, every 5 seconds, spawn the egg actor. Pretty simple stuff. But I want my chicken to lay eggs faster than that, so I'll just do every 1 second, spawn the egg actor. So let's preview and see what happens now. So we have one egg, another egg, another egg, another egg, and our chicken keeps laying eggs. Now our chicken is actually laying eggs exactly on top of the other eggs, so it kind of doesn't look like it's laying any more eggs. So let's back up and let's say, how about every 0.8 seconds, you can also do decimal points, spawn an egg. So let's hit preview again. There we go. So we're now laying more than one egg. And you can, of course, speed this up by saying, well, every 0.1 second, I want you to lay an egg. So now we have a whole ring of eggs. So that's how spawn actor works.